For the business activity, you need to have three measures such as gather the relevant factual information, analyze the facts to determine the most appropriate and moral values, make an ethical judgment based on the rightness and the wrongness of the proposed activity or policy. Unfortunately, the process doesn't always work as smoothly as the scheme. It suggests, what if the facts aren't clear cut? What if there are no agreed upon moral values? Nevertheless, a judgment and a decision must be made. Experts point out that otherwise trust is impossible and the trust is indispensable in any business or in any of the transactions. We can talk about them as we move all along with them. When it comes about ethics, the moral values, there is a sanctioning authority with it. See, if we have a violation, if we have an offense against the state, this is the violation of the Constitution. If any of the employees, any of the citizens, any of the workers, any of the employers, any of the citizen of a state violates the Constitution, it's an offense against the state. And then the sovereignty of the state has the sanction to punish or penalize the person. And such an offense is called a crime. And then there is a sanctioning authority of the state deliberately provided in the Constitution, sanctioned by the sovereignty of the state. And such a crime, which is an offense against state, is punished or penalized or both. Then there is an offense against the norms, the traditions, the conventions. Well, when there is an offense against the norms, the traditions, the conventions, it is not sanctioned by the state, it is not sanctioned by the Constitution, it is not punished by the sovereignty of the state, or not penalized either. It is left to the society, in fact, and that's what we call ethics, that's what we call morality. And now this is where the offender does enjoy a bit of liberty, a bit of a freedom, whether to acknowledge it or not acknowledge it. But as we go and talk about religion, when there is an offense, the offense is against divine. And then, of course, the sanctioning authority again is divine. An offense against divine, an offense against the authority of the divine is called a sin. Sin is sanctioned by the divine, of course, and it is punished. There is a punishment against a sin, and there is a penalty against the sin, very much like the pattern of a crime. So a crime is an offense against state, and a sin is an offense against divine. The sanctioning authority in case of a crime is that of the sovereignty of the state, the Constitution of the state, and in case of a sin, the sanctioning authority, of course, is the divine, and since it goes against the teachings of the religion, it is punished or penalized. So these are the three levels of the offense. The offense against state, the offense against divine, and the offense against ethical values, the moral values. Because of the absence of the sanctioning authority, people do make the liberties when they are dealing with these ethical values set for themselves. But what happens in a corporate environment when there are many companies in competition with each other, it does not become so likely for any of the offender to do any unethical activity, talk about the unethical activities of polluting the environment, or talk about the unethical activities of mistreating a customer or a client. Well, the things do come into the Constitution, but they are very much blurred over there. They are not very well stated, as is the case with the offences against state, the crimes.